بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم اللهم بارك لنا في رجب وشعبان وبلغنا رمضان. I greet you with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh on this, the 13th day of the month of Rajab, here in my Caribbean island of Trinidad. And I want to turn once again to that verse in Surah Hujurat, in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives a warning. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. Be careful. Be careful with news. Be careful. Make sure that you get a trustworthy source of news, because if news comes from you from a sinful source, and the whole of the modern West today, the news that comes from you is sinful. Sinful. It is bogus. It's fake news. Even an American president declared of CNN, fake news CNN. And so you have to be careful to seek information and news from trustworthy sources. And one of these was my dear friend Andre, who goes by the pen name The Seeker, the vineyard of The Seeker. And I got the news that made me so sad that he now has to suspend or close down his website, the vineyard of The Seeker. And there are so many, including my own webmaster, there are so many who are now turning to offer help to him. And may Allah make it easy for that huge amount of work that they have done to be archived, is not lost. But I also spoke of Colonel Douglas McGregor, and I have listened to a few of his analysis, a military analyst on the war in Ukraine, and I'm impressed. I'm impressed by his analysis. There's someone else by the name of Scott Ritter, and I have not had as yet the time to listen to him, because I hardly ever view videos. But I want to advise you, or warn you, be careful where you go to look for news and information, because if it is from a sinful source and you accept it, you might tomorrow regret having blamed someone who is innocent. فَتُصْبِحُ عَلَى مَا فَعَلْتُمْ نَادِمِينَ. So I have found the channel called Russia Today, RT. I found it, I'm impressed that it gives me news from around the world. And I get the news in a very balanced way. I don't get any propaganda, I got news. And I get also good analysis from RT or Russia Today. So then there is my dear friend Dr. Kevin Barrett. He might listen to this video, Kevin. I have not met him for so many years. We met last, I believe, in in Kuala Lumpur, and before that in Tehran. And Kevin Barrett, mashallah, 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 I'm impressed by this brother who has such great integrity and such great courage and such great dedication and perseverance, and also such great eloquence, and who stands firmly for the truth regardless of consequences. That's Kevin Barrett. And I advise you that to go to his website, I think it's called Truth Jihad, or just type in his name, Kevin Barrett, and you will find him to be a reliable source of knowledge, of news, of information, and of analysis. I wish I could go on to advise you to other places where you can go in search of knowledge, But I want to end with this warning that if you go to a sinful source for knowledge, Allah has warned you that you will make mistakes and then live to regret those mistakes. So we pray that Allah might guide you, those who listen to this video, to be careful of the places you go in search of knowledge, of news, of information, and of analysis. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 This is a manufactured crisis.
Manufacturing a crisis.
Manufacturers crises.
Manufacturing.
Manufacture.
Manufacturing.
Manufacture.
Peaceful protesters.
Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest.